Hulk Hogan speaks out on being viciously booed at WWE Raw's Netflix debut. Hulk Hogan learned the true meaning of when it comes crashing down, and it hurts inside. Hogan, real name Terry Bollea, blamed his right-wing political leanings for why WWE fans booed him mercilessly in his surprise return on Raw on January 6 at the Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California for the program's Netflix debut. The Hulkster, a known advocate for President Donald Trump, spoke at his October rally at Madison Square Garden and addressed the backlash with WWE announcer Pat McAfee Monday on his eponymous ESPN show. Did I think the politics had a whole lot to do with it? As you said, Hulk Hogan says he expected to receive boos at the Raw on Netflix debut in LA. Hogan is arguably the most iconic wrestler of all time in terms of mainstream significance, having carried the then WWF into the national spotlight during the 1980s and 1990s before creating the legendary New World Order NWO faction in rival WCW that changed the industry. For most of his time as a wrestler, the Hulkster received thunderous ovations as a babyface, the wrestling term for a good guy. His post-wrestling days, though, have changed the spotlight on him, and fans are showering him with boos like they did during his time as the heel, aka bad guy. Hollywood Hulk Hogan, 71, returned to WWE for its Netflix debut, and legends returning are usually received with a massive pop due to the nostalgia factor. In that show, The Undertaker, also a known Trump supporter, received a hero's welcome. Hogan instead got jeered viciously by the California crowd, perhaps the most liberal state in the country, in a stunning scene while he used his "let me tell you something" brother shtick before promoting his Real American beer. Longtime manager Jimmy Hart stood behind Hogan holding the American flag, a throwback to when Hogan defended America's honor against the likes of the Iron Sheik and Iraqi sympathizer Sergeant Slaughter. But not even the 80s and 90s nostalgia could prevent the crowd's animosity at the Intuit Dome. I don't think any of us expected, McAfee said. Oh, I did, Hogan responded. McAfee continued, you did, because of the political stuff? Or because of everything else? Hogan then actually partially blamed his reaction on him being a heel with the NWO during his time in WCW, which folded as a company 24 years ago. In addition to the political stuff. You got to realize, last time I ran hard in LA, I was Hollywood Hogan. I was riding dirty with the boys, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. We were spray painting people and crotch-shotting people and started out the too sweet stuff, Hogan said. So, the last time I was there as a heel. And that's when McAfee indirectly referenced the other reasons why some folks may not be fans of the Hulkster at this point. Hogan was captured making a racist remark on a sex tape, which actually led to the WWE terminating his contract in 2015. He later apologized for using the slur, that I would assume you get into politics, and also some other stuff, McAfee said. Hogan responded, yeah, of course, when you're in the public eye for 40 years, McAfee said. Before Hogan followed, you do slip and fall a couple times. Hogan then decided to put himself over like he did throughout his career, but anyway, at the end of the day, we kind of looked at it the next day because I had like 11 billion impressions, Hogan said of a clip of him being booed, and some of the other guys, some of the big stars that were on that card that night, only had like 3 billion. Don't want to name names. Hogan did note that he had to act like a babyface during that segment since the WWE is a partner with him for his Real American beer instead of responding to the crowd. If this was for wrestling, and they turned on me like that, I would have turned into Hollywood Hulk Hogan, Hogan said. So, you hate me for everything I've done for all the Make-A-Wish kids, and everything I did for your kids? Well, guess what? I did it for the money. And by the way, since you want so much hatred coming your way, I hope you have a good time when Kamala Harris is your new governor and you're all standing in the soup line. Mic drop. See ya. But I couldn't do that. But I was ready to go after them.